Good morning, guys. I hope everyone is having a wonderful start to their Friday. I just wanted to make a quick video before I got into the weekend about the trades. The last 3 trades I made yesterday, which is based off one of my favorite patterns, the support line bounce. And I'll tell you all more about why that's my favorite pattern and so on, and also how I know it's my favorite pattern and not just a feeling that I get. But also a cool little snippet on how I use this pattern. So I don't just use it on just one different time frame. I like to zoom in and sometimes use it on the 5-minute, but I also like to use it on the daily, in the 4-hour, 1 hour. So it's very versatile, different kind of chart pattern. It's very simple. It's something that everyone can apply to their trading. And it's just my bread and butter pattern. Anyway, let's head over to the charts and take a look at it right now. So to begin with, let's actually go to my trade journal, and here you can see that yesterday I closed 3 trades. I profited about exactly $1,358.30, including fees. That's all calculated into there. So right now my weekly average is at 1834. Let's see if we can beat the 2,000 mark for this week. We'll see. It's a really nice week, but it's kind of crazy. So the crypto market is up just in general. But I did not have any swings open. I did not have any trades open. So I didn't get any of that upside, right? But what I did was I was able to trade it on the way down. And just in general, I was able to capitalize on the pure volatility and volume that we have, which is amazing. A lot of these last few weeks, we've been just seeing a lot of dry consolidation. And for a trader and swing trader, that's really tough to trade because I don't know, it's just chop and you're going to get yourself in some bad positions. So these last few trades and just really this last week has been really exciting and exactly what we've been waiting for a while. So yeah, let's actually check out some of these trades. So here is the weekly overview. This is Trade Journal, by the way, if you don't know what it is. I just came out actually with 8 tutorial videos on Trade Journal. I'll leave a link below so you guys could check that out in case you want to learn more about it. Anyway, if you go over If you go over to the day trade, these are the trades that I closed out yesterday, and here's the pattern that I had. They're all support line bounces, so I'm going to talk about each one a little bit more. You can see on average my entries were a little over $10,000, and the P&Ls were extremely nice, especially for day trading. Usually with day trading, I try to take profits between 2 and 3%, 4% if I'm being very aggressive like this one. And the first one that we're going to review was more or less an accident. So I want to really highlight this one. Actually, it's not really a perfectly teachable trade because there's something that happened on this trade that is a big no-no. And I got really lucky on this trade. Let's just leave it at that because this could have been quite a big loss actually. Anyway, out of the different chart patterns, for me, this was the support line bounce. So in my day trading stat chart, I think we actually have to refresh this filter, but it should be accurate. So right now, the support line bounce is one of the trades that I do the most. These are stats just for this year, so there's not too many trades in this one. I want to add 2018 in a little bit because yeah, it's going to populate this chart a lot more, especially because I did a lot more shorting in 2018. But since this is the new trade journal, I haven't moved over all the old trades. Anyway, as you can see here, that I did a total of 32 support line bounce trades, and my winning percentage is 71.8% on these. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this one. And in general, my winning ratio is about 62%. So I'm not even, right that much, only 62% of the time. My swing trading so far this year, I haven't missed any, but I've only done 4, so not too many, but that might bring up my average by maybe 1 or 2% when it comes to total trading. So yeah, a big thing that I want to say also, I'll talk about this later, but you don't have to be right all the time. I remember in 2018, I was only right about 50% of the time just because we were having a lot of chop, but I was cutting my losses quickly and I was taking usually 2 to 3% of all my wins. So just by being right only half the time, you can still become very consistently profitable. And that's what I teach. But let's actually go over the trades and dive into some fun stuff. So the first trade that I did was an overnight support line bounce, and this one was a little crazy. So let's dive into the chart right now. Here you can see it more or less exactly what happened. I hope that's big enough for you guys. Okay, so it's this trade. This is a different one we'll review on Monday, but What I also noticed on this one is this is actually supposed to be a little bit lower. I placed this in the wrong spot, but I already took a picture, so I didn't edit it yet. I'll go ahead and edit it a little bit later. But this was a little bit lower around here, and it was actually on this one. I thought it was on this bounce, but then I looked at the time frame, and I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But so what we had was we had a really nice dip, and if we go to this chart, you can see kind of where I was thinking. I was planning that we were going to come back here and test this former breakout area where we had that last run up, but instead we broke right through it, but we did bounce right back up. But I took a massive amount of risk with this trade because you don't know if it's going to close down here and, you know, keep going down. I was sleeping though. This was an overnight trade. I had a basically a limit order in place here, and in theory it would have worked really well if I was awake, and I could have probably got in here and sold somewhere in this chop and made, you know, a clean 6%. But what happened was the price went against me about 8%, which is massive. I mean, let's just go back to this chart and see how sketchy this actually was. So the exact entry, let's quickly look where that was. The exact entry was 80.81, right? So that is right around, let's just say here. And so the price went against me about 9.5%, which is, to be honest, extremely lucky. I could have lost $1,000 in just a few moments. Obviously, I didn't have a stop loss in play, but only because there was no stop to put into play, right? Because the limit order was not filled yet. So there was actually no trade at this point in time. So there's no way I could have put a stop loss into place. Anyway, this was what I thought a very conservative entry. I mean, we were roughly, you know, getting close to 19, 20% off our highs, this kind of entry. So I thought it was pretty conservative. I thought there was a very small chance I would actually approach these levels. But we did, and we broke out of them with massive volume. So kind of sketchy, but the price did come right back, and I woke up around 6:30. I didn't check till, you know, after, I don't know, a few things I did in the morning, and then all of a sudden I noticed around 7 that all of this happened, and I simply just got out of the trade. I was like, whoa, this is super sketchy. I'm super happy that I did not lose money, and I'm going to take my 900 or something dollars and just call it a day. And that's exactly what happened. So I closed that trade. Now, I talk about this trade a lot more, and I have it all documented. But here you can see, actually, let me go. Do we have any? No, that's all the pictures. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I want to talk about this trade. It's not super teachable. I mean, I played it extremely conservative, but I took a lot of risk, unknowingly, I suppose. But when the market goes up, you know, Litecoin is up right now about 300% in the last 3 months, so about 100% per month. And when we didn't break $100, it was a huge resistance level. So I knew we were going to have a pullback, but I was not expecting a pullback that aggressively. So I should have probably been a bit more conservative. What I like to do, and what I always like to teach, is to set multiple entries, right? I could put my first entry here, another entry here, and then maybe even another entry in, right above this this level we broke out of, so 72 roughly. So that way I would have been able to average down my position and take a little bit less risk, and I probably would have had a general average in price around here, which would have been a lot better. But ultimately, that's kind of what happened. So I hope you guys can learn something from this. When the price crashes, support lines kind of go out the window. So that's something to keep in mind, and I just took too much risk here, and it's not really something I'm proud of, but luckily I did get out with a winning trade. Anyway, let's close. We'll just leave it open. So the next trade was again, I was looking for this support line bounce, but we were seeing multiple levels where we were already bouncing from. The amount of dip buyers we were seeing were just massive, and eventually I got in when there was a little bit of a confirmation. We had a little dip here, and there were so many buyers, and then we shot up in price, and then I entered when we no longer were breaking down, right? I don't want to catch a falling knife like something that almost happened over here. I like to buy when the price, when we have a confirmation of a reversal. So that's what I did, but I should have sold right around here, took my $100 profit, because we did not keep breaking out, and it was getting really weak. It was not really a strong bounce, and the second that happened, I cut my profits. This is something that I do all the time, and what I was talking about in the beginning of the video, where you only need to be right around 50% of the time, you can still make money. I lost on this trade, yeah, I lost about $47, and that was mainly because of fees. it was about a 1.7% loss, and the fees were $25. So that's just, it was over half of this loss was in fees. So this is, I'm trading on Coinbase, by the way, and I could show you guys a little bit more on my fee structure on Coinbase in a little bit. Anyway, yeah, so I played it fairly safe on this trade. I could have maybe averaged down, but you don't know if we're going to break this, and if it's, you know, it's just going to keep running, and it's a lot of risk to take. So I simply got out of this trade. And all of these trades I documented in real time in the private Discord trading chat room. So if you're in there, or if you are a member of the course, or if you are a subscriber to all of these real time trade reviews and all that stuff in my morning watch list, then you also have access to the private Discord trading chat room. So definitely get in there if you have not already. It's getting more and more active since we just launched it on March 31st. So it's yeah, it's a fun little place. Anyway, back to the important stuff. Cool. So the last trade I want to review again was the same trade as this one. This was going to be a support line bounce, but this time it actually more or less worked well to some extent. So this was pretty cool. A 3.65% gainer, $437 profit. Was super sweet. And one of the things I'm probably most happy about is the fact that I did not let this trade mess up my next trade, which used to happen to me a lot when I first started trading. If I made one bad trade, I would be an emotional roller coaster, and I would most likely mess up the second trade. It just happened again and again. But now I'm way more calm and collective. I let the price come to me, and that's what happened for this trade. So again, we broke down. We did not have a full capitulation like I kind of wanted. I wanted like a really nice kind of dip like this with a big tail, but we weren't getting it. There were so many buyers when I was watching the order book on this. And again, when we came back and did not crash, I opened a position. And here I was feeling pretty good. I was like, okay, we broke here. We're holding our highs. I'm expecting a nice little run up. And I already had a limit order in place to get out, right? I always set my ideal exit limit order the second I enter a trade. And that was near this 180, I always say 180 day, but this is a 5 ticker. So it's like 180 tick moving average. And that is, yeah, you can kind of see coming here, but oftentimes I don't really trade with this. I look for things like this, right? We had a resistance level right here, and resistance level as in we had the price come up here, it failed, came up here, failed, came up here, finally broke out, and then retested. We had a breakout bounce and then shot up from there. This would have been an amazing trade. I didn't trade any of this. I have no idea why. I was super busy with all the course launch and all that stuff. So I just wasn't really actively looking at the charts, even though I just missed all of this run up, right? I didn't get any of the run up, which is crazy. It blows my mind that I missed it, but whatever, it happens. I'm not always online. I like swing trading because you don't have to watch the market too much, but I wanted to capitalize on some of this volatility, and that's what I did with these 3 trades. So let me finish talking about this one. When the price came back here, I was getting a little nervous. I was kind of upset. I was like, oh, come on, again? But we didn't break down here with any volume. We were kind of fizzling out. It was getting a little choppy, and I just knew there was massive support here. So the potential upside to me outweighed the downside risk. I like that 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, and to me that's what we had. We had potential downside of here. We probably would have bounced it a few times and then really broke it hard if we were going to break down, so I would have had time to get out. So I decided just to keep holding, and I already had my order to get out here. Anyway, this beautifully happened, and I was able to get out. So this was really clean. Yeah, so 3 support line bounces. One of the biggest things I want to say is just not chasing, right? I think that is what helped me with all of these trades. I didn't chase near these peaks and, you know, hope that we were going to break out. I always kind of let the price come to me. I was fairly relaxed overall. Besides this massive thing, this was really a I don't know, I'm a little ashamed of myself by it, but I got lucky this time and I was able to make a really nice, I guess, profit off this trade. But again, this is not something I would really recommend doing all the time. I do like placing limit orders around these support lines, but when something crashes like this, it crashes fast. I would say probably the one thing I did right is I wasn't too aggressive. I didn't place the limit order here. Or even here, like right below it or something like that, because I knew ahead of time I should play this conservative because if the price crashes, it can really run. I didn't think it was going to run this far, so I did take a lot of additional risk, and I think that's one thing I really want to point out in this little trading recap. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. So yeah, again, like I said, I'm only right around 62% of the time, so that's really something to take away. You know, there's nothing wrong about taking these small losses. What's really bad is taking a big loss. So that could have happened with this trade. Again, I got really lucky, but overall, let me quickly show you guys what my if you go here to trader and then click on day trades, this kind of will give you a quick idea of how I cut losses. So you can see in general that my wins are pretty decent. I'm trading with about $10,000 per entry. So, but all of my losses are fairly similar, right? They're about that 0.5% loss ratio, not including the fees. So this would be 0.5 including the fees. But in general, my wins always outweigh my losses. Here's a small loss. Here's a small win. Here's two bigger losses. But again, just the losses are never too bad, right? I never have. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I had a $300 loss, and then one time I had a $600 loss. And when I first started trading, I had like a $5,000 loss, which was really traumatizing. But yeah, cut your losses quickly. It's really good. I'm not huge with stop losses when it comes to market stop losses and stuff like that. I like to actively watch the trade and get out when I don't feel comfortable, especially when the price is getting choppy or my trading thesis no longer holds. I talk a lot about that in the trading course, so I won't talk about it too much right now. Again, guys, if you want to learn more about the trade journal, just go to tradejournal.co and you will be able to learn all about it. Let me just type it in. I'll just leave the link below so you can find it that way. But yeah, tradejournal.co, and you can get the latest version, Google Sheet. It's a 2019 version 2, so pretty sweet. And all the tutorial videos on how to use it, I just uploaded them, so they're right here. Remember, guys, if you want to learn more about what I do and upcoming trading opportunities, go over don't go anywhere, weekly. So I publish all my weekly trade reviews on Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to see more about what I'm doing, just tune in for that. It's a live stream, so you could ask any questions during the live stream as well. I think that's everything for this video. There is actually one cool little thing. I had my friend asked me what this line was, and the reason I drew this line is because I wanted to indicate that we had some divergence, right? The RSI was going down and the price was going up. So a little notification on divergence. So a little fun fact there, right there. I typically don't use the RSI when I'm day trading. Sometimes I use it swing trading. I like to acknowledge it and I like to look at it and see what it's doing, but I typically don't base trades on it. When I'm investing and things like that and I'm looking for really long-term horizon stuff, I use the RSI a bit more. But yeah, in general, I mean, it's handy, but really the one thing I do is just price and volume. Everything is in the price, and the volume gives you a very nice indicator. Everything else really is a derivative of that. So what I teach a lot and what I focus on and how I trade is purely price and volume. So let's see if we can get to this $2,000 level for the week. Again, I'm not going to push it. If I don't see a trade, I'm not going to take it. I'm super happy with this $1,800 price point so far, but if we see 2,000, that'd be cool as well. But yeah, there's no need to force a trade. I like to let the trades come to me and be really relaxed. So that's everything for me, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend. I will see you guys on Monday, if not sooner. Ciao, ciao.